Alright everybody, we're in the garage today. It's windy and hot out today, so I decided to film this inside. I just wanted to give you a brief look over what I'm carrying in my pack and on my pockets and on my body this year. We are in early archery season, so it is hot out, so I'm not carrying much, and we are only doing day hunts at the moment. So my food is pretty limited. I have most of my food at the truck. We're not that far from the truck. I normally keep some jerky and miscellaneous granola bars, Cliff bars, whatever on me. I don't have any of that out here though. So let's start with what I keep in my pack. I always have my Vortex Nomad spotting scope. It's fairly small. I've had it for quite a while. I like it. It's not super heavy. It does a good enough job when I need to throw a spotter on something. Go with that. I have my phone scope adapter for my phone. These things are awesome. If you don't have one of these already, you really need to look at getting one. You get such good footage, and the thing that we've found we like about it, we normally hunt in a group of 2 to 3. Very rarely are we by ourselves, and it's so fun to be able to just put that on there, and then all 3 of us can sit there and look at whatever animal we're looking at through that spot scope. So that is great. Definitely worth it. I've been trying to be better about keeping first aid material with me. I was on a hike one time and one of my friends had a bad allergic reaction and we didn't have anything for him. It was not a good situation. So the day I got back from that hike, I went and bought this little first aid kit. It did not have anything as for any kind of allergic reaction, so I put some Benadryl and a few other things in there. I added the Benadryl, some butterfly bandages, and a few other small things, not much. It's just your typical though. It has needles for slivers, little tweezers, a bunch of different band-aids, gauze, duct tape, some fishing line, you name it, it's in there. This is really lightweight, it's waterproof. I don't go anywhere without this anymore. It just stays in my backpack. I have a couple of them, whatever backpack I grab, it just has one in it. My knives this year, I am using a Benchmade fixed blade knife. I had it all of last year. I cut up 2 deer, an elk, and an antelope with it before I had to sharpen it. I am using a Outdoor Edge folding saw. Last 2 or 3 years, maybe even longer than that, I was also using an Outdoor Edge saw. It was a smaller one though. It was only about half this size. And for doing deer and antelope, the thing was great. Sometimes even on a big deer, it was a little too small. And especially on an elk, it just wasn't quite enough. So I believe my brother got me this for my birthday. And it is not much heavier than the small one. I don't know what they make them out of, but they're super light. So I'm excited to have that in my pack this year. I've always got my licenses and permits. I keep a little bit of bowstring wax. I've been carrying one of these Gerber fire starters. These things are awesome. Throw out a really hot spark. Has a whistle on it if you got lost. Practiced with it a few times and it's pretty easy to start a fire. I've been keeping a decent amount of electrical tape with me. You can use it for so many things. If something breaks, you get a cut, you need to wrap it around some gauze, taping your tag on, you name it, you can do it. I keep a decent amount of paracord with me. This is some fairly good quality stuff. This is some cheaper stuff if I need to cut it up. I use that from anything from hanging game in the trees to tying it on my pack to just messing around, doing whatever. Game bags, I have this brand new pack of 4 with me. I'll keep that in the bottom of my pack. These are 12 by 48 inches. Nothing special, I think they're just a cotton game bag. But when it's hot like this, we try to get them skinned out as quick as we can and in the game bags and hanging in some shade. We use the game bags to keep the flies and dirt and just keep the meat as clean as possible, get it in there as quick as we can. I am using this camera as a backup camera now, honestly, most of my pictures that I take are on my phone. It's just so much simpler and easier, and you're not lugging this thing around on your neck like I used to. Not that it was bad, but this is a Nikon Coolpix L120. It does take really good pictures, it has really good zoom, takes decent video. I always keep a backup set of batteries for that. That is about everything I keep in my pack. I have a water bladder in my pack. I didn't take that out. It's a Badlands water bladder. I'll show you it here in a second. It's got a quick disconnect on the hose. So I routed my hose through the whole pack and I never take it out. All I take out is just the bladder. So now I will show you the camo I'm using this year. These are the First Light Canab pants. However you say that, I'm sure that's wrong. I love these things. I've been only using them about a week now, but they are great. They're super lightweight. I love the suspenders. They're just comfortable. Really good layout on pockets. They have the button up by the knee here, so when it's hot out like it is today, 85 degrees, you can roll it up to your knee, have some shorts. Helps a ton. These things are great. My top that I'm wearing is also a First Light. It is the Chama hoodie. It's a merino wool hoodie. The thing is great. It's got a quarter zip. The hood is just enough in the mornings. You throw this thing up on a cool morning when you're walking in, it keeps you just right. And then when it does get hot out, you can unzip it, air out. The thing is awesome. I've been really enjoying that. I have my gloves. These are some Kuiu gloves. I normally keep those in the pocket down on my knee, just in case I need them, my hands get cold or whatever. My binoculars, I'm using a Kuiu binocular harness with the Vortex Crossfire 10x42s in there. They're a fairly inexpensive binocular, but they're amazingly clear, good enough zoom for me, for where we're hunting anyways. These things are great because they're fairly inexpensive, and I'm always out crawling through some dirt field, through the sagebrush, and by the end of the day, you end up getting dirt in your lenses and just beating the heck out of these things. So I don't know if I'd ever be one of those guys that hikes around with really expensive binoculars. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's got two little side pouches on it. On the one side I keep my wind indicator. The other side, what is this? Oh, this is my knock tool for dinking around with my lighted knocks, turn them on, turn them off, whatever. Those are my binoculars. I'm using this old rangefinder that I've had forever. The thing still works though, so there's no need on getting a new one. It's a Nikon Rifle Hunter 550. It's getting to the point where about 600 yards is all you can get, and that has to be on a big rock or something, but anything closer than that, it's awesome for it. I would like to get a new rangefinder, something a little bit smaller. The new ones aren't quite as long as this. But anyways, that is everything that I keep on me. Alright, so this is the pack I've been using. Last year is my first year with it, and I loved it. It's the Mystery Ranch Pintler, whatever it is, Mystery Ranch. Love it. This thing is awesome. It's just small enough so I can use it as a day pack during any time of the year. I carried it all year last year. But the awesome thing is this whole bag comes up and flips down, and then there's just the frame. So you can tie all your meat to your frame. Well, you don't even have to tie it in there. You get all your meat in between your frame and the bag, and then the bag folds back up, and all the straps adjust out, and you go around your meat. This thing is awesome. Last year I had 2 elk quarters on it, and the back straps all in one load, and it felt just fine. It was plumb comfortable. As comfortable as it could get, I guess. Triangle zipper pattern on the top here. Open that up, and it has this whole body long zipper. You have access to everything in your whole pack. You don't have to be reaching in down from the top. I never did like that design. This thing, you put it in here, you can get to it. So I always keep my game bags right at the very bottom. My medical kit goes right next to those. Toilet paper. My spotting scope I always put on this side in this slip pocket. My knives and my saws, they're a little too long, but over here on the side there's a zipper pocket inside. I put them in there. I don't even zip it shut though, I just leave them in there. My little fire starter guy I put in this zipper pocket. My camera has a case, it normally sits right in the middle here. This is that bladder I was telling you about. I've got a little bit of water in there from this morning still. But all you have to do is tip it upside down, and it's just got a quick disconnect hose. So I leave my hose in my pack, take this into the house, clean it out, fill it up, whatever. The other cool thing about this is the whole top of this opens up. So you slide this off, unfold it once, and the whole top cleans out. So you can stick your hand down in there and really scrub it. There's no screw lid. You know, you can actually get in there and clean this thing. I've had ones in the past that you just couldn't get in there and clean out, and they end up getting all musty and stinky, and it's just not good. Most of them only last about a year. This thing I really enjoyed. I'm one of those guys that is terrible about drinking enough water. If I have a bottle in my pack, I never stop to take it out. So the bladder for me is the way to go. Stay hydrated, just better. Slips right in that bladder pouch. Has this little hook here, goes around the top of it, loops through. That just keeps it vertical, keeps it where it needs to be. That is everything that goes in my main compartment. Like I said, other than my camera and the camera bag. Lift that up. Now in my top compartment here, so there's just this mesh pocket. I keep my phone scope, my paracord, electrical tape, my permits, tags, licenses, whatever, bowstring wax, and that is it. Got a side pouch over here for my rangefinder. Goes right in there. Just has this kind of elastic type hook on it. Just comes off and on pretty easy. Alright, so that was all my gear, my pack, how I load my pack. This is the bow I'm shooting this year. This year, I should say. I've had it for a few years now. Really enjoyed it. This is the Matthews No Cam. I've got a 27-inch draw, and I'm shooting it at 65 pounds. I have a tight spot detachable quiver. You just take that, it's a little cam lever, quiver comes right off. I have the Matthews, I believe this is a 10-inch flatline stabilizer. This is a black gold sight. They're made here in Montana. It's a slider, so my bottom pin set for 50, and I can shoot out to 110 yards if I want to for practice. I'd say the farthest I would shoot an animal is probably 70 yards, and that's totally dependent on the condition. It would have to be just right. On a normal day, I'd probably say 50 yards. For me, I just think there's too much that can go wrong. I know guys do it, but it's just, that's just how I go. My release this year is just a Scott release. It's the Scott Shark trigger release, full wrist strap. It's what I've always shot. I'm comfortable with it. I've got a Ripcord Ace drop away rest on it. I love this bow. It's really quiet. Hey everybody, just want to say thanks for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Seeing a little bit of the gear that we use. If you have any other questions, put it in the comments below. It is 3:59 in the morning right now. Headed up to pick up my dad, and we're gonna go elk hunting. So if you like this video, click subscribe down at the bottom of your screen here, and follow us on social media at Hunt America. Thanks guys, have a good day.